comes to the months of fall, the weather has gotten cooler. I feel like there's more love in the air. Maybe it's because of the holidays of, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And I find that date night in the fall time is a special time. Snuggling up, getting warm and cozy by a fire. This is when high school kids and college kids make terrible decisions that will affect the rest of their lives. And older couples, we like to cuddle and watch Netflix. Not like you young people do. Anyway, these are my top 10 date night scents for the months of fall. Fall fragrances to get them to fall in love with you. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? My name is Joshua, and this is your channel, ScentSense. All the loyal subscribers and the sensations out there, thank you so much for stopping by and continuing to show your support. And to you new people who are maybe checking out the channel for the very first time and trying to decide if this is right for you, it costs you nothing to stick around and watch the video. So check it out. And at the end of the video, if you like it, like the video, leave a comment, share it, subscribe, click the notification bell, do all that. Get fancy and free. Shake your tail feathers. Moving right along, these are gonna be, again, 10 fragrances in the fall seasons that will help you get them, whoever them is, to fall in love with you. Starting off at number 10 is, as I would call it, a BB fragrance, a basic bitch fragrance, a fragrance that would be worn by people who don't want anything to challenge them. They want something easy to wear, that's mass appealing, and a lot of people will like. And this one works year round, so you gotta have at least one of these on the list. From the house of Chanel, BLEU de Chanel PARFUM. I know what you're thinking. I reviewed this a while back, and I said this was definitely my least favorite from the line of BLEU de Chanel, but this is the densest one. This is the heaviest one. This one, I think, lends the most to the months of fall. What you're gonna get from this is woods, tonka, lavender, citruses. You're gonna get a basic blend of this smells good. This is not going to wow anyone, but this is not going to upset anyone. This is just going to work. At number 10, with the basic Brian fragrance, BLEU de Chanel Parfum. At number 9 is a fragrance that is challenging to some. Some men would not feel comfortable wearing this fragrance, and this actually smells really good on women too. So this is probably the most unisex fragrance on this list, but I have to say, if you're a full-grown man and you're not afraid of being challenged, this one will really work. From the house of Tom Ford, NOIR Extreme. Main notes I get from this is vanilla, amber, rose, and woods. This is a sweet, slightly thick, sexy fragrance. There's just really no other way to say this. This is something that you can wear, though, like I said, only if you're sure in yourself and you're secure. You throw this sucker on and you're like this awkward, awkward Alex, and you're like, oh, I don't know how to talk to girls, I'm freaking out, and I don't know how to talk to people, and I'm trying to overachieve. It's gonna stand out. It's gonna smell like you put on some really crappy fragrance, and I really believe this connects like a vibe. Like, this has to fit the person. If you show up and you're a full-grown man, you might be metrosexual, but you're sure of yourself, you're gonna smell sexy. You're gonna smell different. You're gonna smell unique. You're gonna smell like you aren't afraid of who you really are. If you're a woman and you wear this, you're gonna smell bold. You're gonna smell daring. You're gonna smell provocative. You're gonna smell important. So I think it works for either sex, but I'm a man, so I have to talk about it as if I would wear it. And this is without a doubt, easily one of my favorite date night fragrances, especially in the months of fall. Coming in at number 9 from the house of Tom Ford, Tom Ford's NOIR Extreme. At number 8 is a fragrance that took one of the most cloying, popular, loud, eccentric fragrances and made it sexy. From the house of Paco Rabanne, 1 Million Privé. I mean, even down to the bottle, this is a little bit of a tacky bottle. These bottles where it looks like a gold brick, but this one looks like a chocolate brick. This one just screams elegance in my mind, especially for where it comes from and the brand it is, but also decadence. What I pick up is tobacco, cinnamon, myrrh, and tonka. The myrrh and tonka kind of gives you the vibe you get from Joe Malone's myrrh and tonka. It's this sweet, fluffy, decadent kind of feel. The cinnamon and tobacco gives you that strong, earthy, spicy nature. So you're gonna get earthy, spicy, and sweet. This is a super awesome, shockingly well put together fragrance from the house of Paco Rabanne, which usually lends credence to super sweet and super cloying fragrances like Invictus and 1 Million, but this one is perfect for date night. From the house of Paco Rabanne, 1 Million Privé. Number 7 is a fragrance that I used to wear to every special occasion, especially weddings, but it's kind of fallen back on my rotation, but it still holds a special place in my heart. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, the one, Eau de Parfum. Highlighted notes of tobacco, amber, ginger, and cardamom. This is, I'm sexy, and I'm trying to let you know that I'm sexy in a bottle. The amber and the cardamom are very present, and the tobacco lends that earthiness like I mentioned in other fragrances. This is smooth, sophisticated, fancy, nice, well put together, a superb close encounter fragrance. This is not gonna last forever. This does not have massive projection. This is an intimate, close-up date night fragrance. This is not something you wear on a date with someone and you want everyone else to smell you. You want the person who's closest to you to smell you, and that's what this does. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, the one, Eau de Parfum. At number 5 is the last of the designer scents from this list, and it is another from the house of Tom Ford. This is my go-to designer sexy time fragrance. It's pretty much supplanted the one EDP. It is none other than Oud Wood from Tom Ford. Tom Ford's Oud Wood is a smooth, oudy sandalwood fragrance that just smells creamy and not so barnyardy and just dank as most ouds do. What I pick up most from this is the oud, rosewood, sandalwood, and vanilla. The earthy woods brings down the oud smell. It brings down that strong, dense smell. The vanilla adds some sweetness, and that rosewood just really has a little extra something to it. This is without a doubt one that I would suggest to most people, and if you can't afford this one, Versace's Oud Noir is a great alternative for a lot cheaper, but you get what you pay for. It's not nearly as smooth, as well blended, and as well put together as this. I never had a single person tell me that I smelled anything less than spectacular when wearing this. This is something that sets itself apart. Nothing else really smells like it besides the Versace fragrance, which was made, I guarantee, to be a complete clone of this. From the house of Tom Ford, Oud Wood. Jumping into the niche and indie offerings, at number 5 is a fragrance from a fragrance brand that's all about bringing a black perspective to fragrances. More often than not, the black man is often not respected or represented well enough in the world of fragrances, and I think it's a travesty. Fragrance brands such as this one aren't going to let that happen anymore, and they're making the difference that is often oh so needed. From the house of Sean Crenshaw, the fragrance is Ovation for Men. Amber, cardamom, tobacco, and aquatic notes. This is a classic yet modern, I'm a full-grown man and I know who the hell I am fragrance. This was just recently featured in a couple magazines. It's starting to gain traction, but I really feel like it doesn't get the attention it deserves. This is a super well done fragrance. I'm really shocked that not a lot of people are talking about it. I think it's something you should definitely check out. You should get yourself a sample of it. If you can't, find a way to do so. Like ask somebody to buy a decant off of them. Heck, I may even send you one. This is something that is going to really be a noisemaker when more people talk about it. I think that this is something that you should wear if you're going to get dressed up. This is not a casual fragrance. I think that this is something that's meant for a guy who's trying to make an impression. This is for a guy who deserves an ovation. Number 5 from the house of Sean Crenshaw, Ovation for Men. At number 4 is a leather lover's dream. It needs no introduction. I got the big boy bottle right here from the house of Memo, African leather. This is the 200 ml bottle. It's massive. No, it's not full to the top. I'd say it's probably a little more than half full. So I've got a lot of juice left. But this one right here is without a doubt my favorite niche leather fragrance that exists. Leather, saffron, cardamom, bergamot. You're going to get animalistic leather. But at the same time, it smells like an animalistic leather that's been turned into an exotic car seat cover. I know that sounds ridiculous. It doesn't sound fancy, but think a Bugatti with leather seats that were made from some like exotic leather from the heart of Africa. That's what you're gonna get from this. So you're gonna smell like a fresh, super expensive leather jacket. This is something that I think anybody who wants to smell what I think real leather should smell like and what masculinity when it comes to leather should smell like, that's this right here in a bottle. So if you're gonna go on a date with somebody who likes a man's man, who likes someone who smells powerful, but yet smells masculine, really should take a look at this one right here. That is African leather from the house of Memo. At number 3 is a bottle that I think you could use to harm a small village with. You could use this as your one and only weapon. It is a heavy, well put together and ornate bottle from the house of Argos. At number 2, BACIO IMMORTALE. I must admit this has a stark closeness to Tom Ford's Tuscan leather. Leather, raspberry, oud, and birch. You're going to get leather and raspberry predominantly through the life of this fragrance. What I do like about this one more than Tuscan leather is this one lends credence more to the fruity nature of the fragrance. This is a delicate balance between masculinity and femininity. But a lot of times when it comes to mixing fruits and leather, a lot of times fragrances will lend a lot more to the leather side. And while it may smell great to us men, some women are just kind of off-put by it. They're just like, that's too much. Remember, just because you feel like you smell extra feminine, you smell like what they want to smell, like what they are going to spray as a freshener in their house, what they're going to spray on their own bodies, what they expect to smell. So this has raspberry as a feature note in my opinion, and that is well to do in my opinion, so bravo for that. If you want to go check out this fragrance, go check it out on their website, Argos. I think it's byargos.com. This right here is a much more fruit-centric and sexier version of Tuscan leather in my opinion. At number 3 from the house of Argos, BACIO IMMORTALE. At number 2 is a fragrance from a fragrance brand that I think needs a lot more attention. It is something that I have to say I was very shocked by. I'm very pleasantly surprised with the creativity and the authenticity of this brand. Enough rambling. From the house of Juicebox, 14-Hour Dream. This fragrance was supposed to represent a psychedelic trip in the minds of the people of Pink Floyd at their 14-Hour Dream concert. This was easily one of the best representations of a fragrance to music that I've seen from the brand thus far. What I pick up is sandalwood, vanilla, orris, and of course, we have hippies. So, patchouli. The patchouli and the vanilla work so well with the sandalwood, and the orris definitely lends a special something to the fragrance that it seems like it would lack if it wasn't present. This is a smooth, almost powdery, yet creamy fragrance. This is something that I think you won't smell like anybody else. If you're looking for a unique fragrance from a unique brand, and you're looking for something that's going to make the person you're with think you smell creamy and soft and welcoming and yummy, you might get licked a little bit. From the house of Juicebox, at number 2, 14-Hour Dream. Mentioning this next fragrance at number 1, I'm gonna get a lot of flack mainly because of the name of the fragrance, mainly because of who it came from. But if I put this in a different bottle with a different name and I talked about it and you tried it, you would love it. You wouldn't even care. But when I tell you the name of the fragrance, I tell you who made it, that's what I'm gonna hear the whole time. Anyway, at number 1 for date fragrances in the months of fall, Date for Men by Jeremy Fragrance. I tried to hate it. I tried to hate it because of all you people out there that made it sound so terrible. All of your blind hatred for Jeremy. I used to be a part of it. I used to have this weird feeling of hate towards a man that I've never met. But I've come to a conclusion, I'm a full-grown man, and honestly, I couldn't give 2 craps. So I'm gonna dedicate myself to enjoying fragrances and finding out what really works for me. So I wore this fragrance one night. It was not a date night. It was around a bunch of friends, and every one of their significant others smelled this and thought it was, and I quote, sexy, delicious, yummy. Let me spray it on him. Oh my God, it smells even better on him, which I don't know about that. But regardless, people ranted and raved about this. And why? Because they're disconnected from fragrance community, because they're disconnected from the fragrance world, and they're judging it solely on what they smell. No, they may not have smelled La Male. They may not have smelled Allure Eau Extreme or whatever other fragrance you're going to compare this to. They smelled this, and they thought this was super sexy. So if you want something that is tailor-made for date night, and you don't date someone who's obsessed with fragrances and doesn't know who Jeremy Fragrance is and just wants to enjoy the fragrance because of what it is, this works. So I was shocked. I wanted to drag it. I wanted to think it was trash, but it's not. It works. It's proven. Coming in at number 1 from the house of Fragrance One and Jeremy Fragrance, Date for Men. All right, everybody, that does it for me. Those are my top 10 sexy date night fragrances for fall to make them fall in love with you. If you made it to this point of the video, do consider subscribing, click the notification bell, click the like button, leave a comment. What are fragrances that are your go-tos for date night? What are those fragrances that you feel are alluring and seductive and sensual that just work? Go ahead and leave that comment, and I look forward to replying to you. I thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, and most importantly, I'll smell each and every one of you later. Peace!